Well, hey everybody. Today I'm going to show you how to make cake pops. I've got this new cake pop maker and it's really cool, and I'll put a link down on the bottom for you. It's one of these ones that flip around, which should be interesting. And it actually comes with this container that you put your cake batter in and you just pour it in, which I think is really helpful because a lot of times with these cake pop makers, you really have to put the right amount of batter in each of these little cake wells. So let me move in closer and you can check out what I'm doing. So we're going to put in about a tablespoon in each. You don't want to overfill because then it comes out horribly. And you want to make sure you don't get it all over the place. Now with this cake pop maker, because it flips, I'm thinking and I'm hoping it'll help to make the cake pops perfectly round, which sometimes can be a bit tricky with just a regular cake pop maker. But I've also found that different cake pop makers function differently. Some are actually better than others. Okay, so I'm going to get all of these filled. Once again, remember, we don't want to overflow our filling, and I hope you can see this. Oh, this is kind of dark. But then we're just going to close the lid, and we're going to flip once. So it tells me, la 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 la. It says flip once, so the cake wells will fill, and then I'm going to flip it back. And we're going to let it cook for a few minutes, and then shortly we'll open it up and see what everything looks like. Okay, so here we go. Marvelous little brownie cake pops. So I'm just going to take them out. With the brownie cake pops, you've got to let them cook a wee bit longer than you would normally do. Because, you know, brownie cake mix can be kind of thick. So I'm just going to pop all of these out and put them on this little tray and get ready to make some more. As you can see, I didn't actually fill the pan all the way up on all of them like I should have. So some are a little smaller than others, but that's okay because we know better next time. And they came out beautifully, don't you think? Okay, so I'm just had a little bit more of the brownie cake batter, and I'm gonna go ahead and finish filling it up and make another batch of brownie cake pops. I moved over here to where there's some more light so you could see better what I'm doing. These batter containers, putting it in this plastic thing and squeezing it into each of the little reservoir works so much better. Now there's not a lot of cake batter left in this one, so I may not get very many out of it, but it was important for me to show you how using one of these things you can fill up each and every of the little cake wells so that your cake pops come out perfectly round, perfectly everything, perfectly shaped, because isn't that the whole point? Woo, okay, this is what happens when you get to the last little bit. Okay, so there's only 3 in there, which should work fine, because I need to clean this out because the next batch of cake pops will be ready to start working on them. So I'm just going to close the lid down and let it cook for a couple of minutes. And then I got this great one that flips, that turns. So in a minute, I'll probably flip it over. And this helps the cake pops to come out perfectly evenly round, as you can see, even without seams or those little crusties. Okay, so let me pause here. Okay, we're gonna take a sneak peek because these have been in here for about a minute. Okay, and you can kind of see they're rising up. I'm gonna go ahead and flip it a little bit and let it sit like that for a minute. Then I'll flip it back over, and once again, that helps for you to get those perfectly round cake pop shapes. As you can see now, the top of the cake pops were indented a little bit, kind of flat, but when they got flipped over, it made the cake batter rise up to the well, up to the top part of the well up here. So now, as you can see, and go in a little closer here, your cake pop balls are really starting to be round. So I'm gonna close this back up and let it cook for about another minute. Okay, and they should be ready. And with your cake pops maker, you get this little forky thing, and then you can just basically just poke them without making any damage, and just take them right out of there. And these are the brownie cake pops we made. So now we're going to start on the red velvet cake pops. I love this cake pop maker. Actually, before I put the next batch of cake pops on here, the next batch of batter, I'm just going to wipe it off to get the little crumbs off. Now this is very, very, very hot, but I wanted to make sure I got all the crumbs off so you wouldn't have any little burnt pieces. So I'm going to close that back and let it heat up, and then we'll be ready for our next batch of cake pops.